Euromaxx highlights in this edition. Beethoven Bonanza, 9 symphonies in 4 days in an award-winning DW-TV film. Painter's Paradise, a visit to the first Normandy Impressionist Festival in France. Holiday Haven, the Chiemgau region is a great place to get away from it all. Euromaxx highlights, and here's your host, Karen Helmstedt.
Greetings and welcome to our Highlights edition. Well, in just 1 week's time, the beer taps will start flowing in Munich for one of the biggest popular festivals in the world, the one and only Oktoberfest. This year, it's celebrating its 200th anniversary, and a good part of the fun is seeing Germans in their various types of traditional dress. Well, that usually means lederhosen for the guys and Dirndls for the ladies, but now there's some news that the Dirndl has become a fashion statement well beyond Bavaria, and it seems northern Germans have taken to wearing Bavarian folk garb, so we went to investigate.
Whether long or short, show-stopping or demure, the Oktoberfest is like a giant catwalk for young ladies in dirndls. But it wasn't always that way. Trend researcher Antje Schoenemann explains that the popularity of dirndls has risen in recent years.
The image of the dirndl has definitely changed. They aren't seen as fuddy-duddy frocks for country bumpkins. These days they're also worn by urban, fashion-conscious types. Not least because the dresses themselves have been adapted to popular tastes.
As October approaches, there are dirndls as far as the eye can see, all over Munich. Temporary shops appear out of nowhere, but there's also a lot available for more discerning buyers. A year ago, designer Nathalie Bro opened a store for couture dirndls called My Dirndl. A trained seamstress, she meets customers by appointment only. And all her dresses are made to measure.
There's been a boom in recent years, and all the ladies want to have the most elegant dress and outdo one another. So that's why there are more and more designers who specialize in dirndls.
The dresses on sale from My Dirndl are a far cry from the frumpy uniforms that used to be worn by serving girls. In the late 19th century, city girls started wearing these traditional dresses, and their transformation began. A dirndl made by Nathalie Brau can cost as much as €1,800. She only uses quality fabrics like silk and brocade and sticks to the standard dirndl trademarks, a close-fitting, low-cut bodice, narrow waist, and of course, the apron.
It's very flattering, and men love it. I've never known a man who doesn't like a woman in a dirndl. It makes you feel very feminine, and it just looks good.
The current collection is all about emphasizing old-fashioned femininity. The focus is on the waist and neckline. Petticoats used to be very out, but we're seeing them again a lot these days. The dirndl is a great vehicle for this return to femininity.
They even seem to be popular some 800 kilometers to the north in Hamburg. The store, Die Trachtendealer, has been specializing in dirndls for the last 20 years. The customers here seem to like the traditional looks best. Slightly more sophisticated versions are available in the Erpendorf neighborhood. The label FKK is best known for understated fashion. But its take on the dirndl dispenses with the apron and has an integrated blouse.
We've brought the Dirndl up to date. You just put this one-piece bit over the top, and what with the fabric and colour, you can even wear it to work or out to dinner at your favourite Italian restaurant in the evening without feeling overdressed, which you probably would in Hamburg if you wore the traditional South German dress.
Initially, customers would buy Dirndls as a bit of a joke, but demand is rising. In the first weeks the store was opened, several dozen were sold.
I've never worn a dress like this before, with the waist, the length and puffed sleeves, but I really love it.
It's getting hard to set yourself apart with dresses and styles. So one way of dealing with that is to look for folksy and regional elements and combine them with your own style. That's what makes these dresses special.
From Munich to Hamburg, the countryside to the big city. The Dirndl has come a long way, and it's never looked better.
In September 2009, the Beethoven Festival in Bonn saw a marathon orchestra performance when the Deutsche Kammerphilharmonie Bremen, under conductor Paavo Järvi, performed all 9 of Beethoven's symphonies in just 4 days. Well, the whole event and the preparations for it were the subject of a documentary film made by DW-TV, and the film just had its European premiere right here in Berlin.
A film team follows one of Germany's top orchestras as it tackles a Beethoven marathon. The result is a unique film.
Why another cycle? Who needs another cycle? We will always need another cycle of Beethoven symphonies.
The film can only be as good as its main protagonists. The musicians may not be actors in this case, but they are the main characters, together with Paavo Järvi, the conductor. And having Paavo Järvi on board was a great stroke of luck for us, because of his interesting and informative interviews, and because he let us get very close to him with the camera.
The Estonian-American conductor Paavo Järvi is the central figure in the movie. Filming for the documentary put Järvi in an unusual situation, not just musically speaking. DW-TV followed the conductor and orchestra for 3 months. Tonight is the film's European premiere. The conductor has made the trip to Berlin to see the film for the very first time.
I turned from cautious skepticism to a viewer who actually was kind of interested in seeing what comes next. And I must say, the tension was pretty high and very positive.
The film goes beyond simply documenting the events. The concerts at the Beethoven Festival were recorded with an array of different cameras using innovative technology. In addition to Bonn, Bremen also was an important film location. The Deutsche Kammerphilharmonie Bremen used a school auditorium as its rehearsal space. Several important segments of the documentary were filmed at rehearsals here. In addition to Paavo Järvi, the film also focuses on some of the musicians from the orchestra.
And action.
The musicians are also filmed playing individual parts in a specially prepared white film studio.
This is what takes it away from the level of an ordinary documentary film. Here you have 5 protagonists in a white studio, and Paavo Järvi too. So viewers know they're going to learn something about Beethoven and his symphonies.
For the musicians, these were the most demanding sequences.
Hat man eine zentrale Stimmung. Das bedeutet, dass wenn ich hier eine Kurbel drehe, kann ich den Ton mit einer Umdrehung oder mit dieser Kurbel verstimmen.
I'm fascinated by studios. That's why I enjoyed it at first, but then I noticed when I was sitting there that it's pretty hard. When you're playing all by yourself and don't have the rest of the orchestra around you, and the timpani is a relatively brittle instrument, it's pretty stressful.
This one beat.
But the team was very nice. They really supported us.
Conductor Pavel Yervi is also put in the White Studio to explain Beethoven's music.
It's a kind of a humor that is already starting to be a little bit obsessive, slightly mad.
The film ends at the Beethoven Festival in Bonn, and naturally, with a great musical climax, Beethoven's Ninth Symphony.
And a DVD box set, including the documentary, plus all 9 live symphonies, will be going on sale in October, so do stay tuned for that. Well, now it's over to Rouen in northern France, where painter Claude Monet once studied the facade of the city's Gothic cathedral in every imaginable light and weather. He ended up painting it 31 times, resulting in a series that has been described as the climax of Impressionism. As one of the birthplaces of this style of painting, the surrounding region of Normandy has been celebrating its first Impressionist festival this summer, and we took in its highlight exhibition.
Classic paintings in a new light. Every night, Impressionist masterpieces are beamed onto the exterior of the Museum of Fine Arts in Rouen. More than anywhere else, the Normandy region and its landscapes inspired the motifs of the Impressionist movement. It was in the 19th century that Normandy gave birth to the new painting style, which captured light and fleeting moments with seemingly casual brushstrokes. Rouen is the regional capital. From this vantage point, the Impressionist painter Claude Monet committed the city to canvas for the first time.
The Impressionists loved Rouen. It isn't far from Paris, and you could get here quickly by train. The area has everything the Impressionists loved to paint.
There's the old town with its half-timbered houses dating back to the Middle Ages. And there are bridges that span the Seine. These were scenes that captivated the Impressionist painters. And they are now the subject of a special exhibition. On display, 130 Impressionist works of art featuring Rouen and the surrounding area. For example, the bridges over the Seine feature in several paintings by Émile Pissarro. So do the smoking chimneys of early industry, new motifs, and an unaccustomed style.
Pissarro was interested in industrial landscapes. He wanted to contrast them against the historical buildings he saw in Rouen. He had an answer ready for anyone who criticized his motifs. He'd say, but they're beautiful, like Venice.
Nowadays, Impressionist art is a guaranteed crowd puller. But 150 years ago, bourgeois society was shocked as artists turned their backs on the conventional style of painting.
The Impressionists were very keen to position themselves radically against the art trade of the salons back then, as well as against the artists who had a very conventional style of painting.
The centerpiece of the exhibition, Claude Monet's series of paintings of Rouen's Gothic cathedral. They capture the building at different times of the day, with variations of light and color. It was the moods that meant more to the painter than the actual motif. In this case, the cathedral that still stands in Rouen. Monet also had a passion for fine cuisine. That's why the historic La Couronne restaurant in Rouen offers an Impressionist menu. It was composed of the artist's huge collection of recipes.
The recipes are no longer up to date, so we had to improve this very traditional cuisine. For these impressionist meals, it was important to get a lot of color on the plates.
There are many places in Normandy that inspired the Impressionists. The romantic Seine or the small seaside resorts dotted along the coast. Étretat is one of them. Claude Monet painted around 80 pictures of this popular holiday destination with its stunning chalk cliffs and natural arch. Copies of two of the most famous pictures are on display on the promenade. Little has changed here, aside from fewer fishing boats and more tourists on the beach. Although the weather in Normandy isn't always the best, it can't dampen the spirits of these revelers. They've come to the seaside resort of Cabourg for a special tea party steeped in the style of bygone days. It's held in front of the Grand Hotel, which first opened its doors in 1907. The local mayor recalls the writer Marcel Proust, a huge fan of Impressionist art, who wrote his masterpiece In Search of Lost Time here. The party is a celebration of the artists who left a lasting impression on their age, the era known as the Belle Époque.
And back to modern times, the IFA, said to be the biggest consumer electronics fair in the world, has just been taking place here in Berlin. And as always, it showcased the latest home entertainment innovations and electronic wizardry. And seeing as we like to keep abreast of these developments, we sent our reporter Axel Primavesi along to try out the latest gadgets.
Axel Primavesi is on his first visit to Berlin's IFA trade fair. And with more than 1,400 exhibitors in 28 halls, there's plenty to see.
The range of products here at the IFA is enormous. There's something new at every corner. Digital cameras, MP3 players, mobile phones. But this year's big talking point is 3D television. We've had it in cinemas for a while. My first 3D movie was James Cameron's Avatar. So now I'm going to test if the pictures are going to be just as amazing watching at home on the couch.
Almost all the major manufacturers are exhibiting 3D sets at the IFA this year. But without the special shutter glasses, the images aren't three-dimensional, they're just blurred.
Mr. Recker, how does 3D TV work?
Put simply, the 3D image created by a television is split into two pictures side by side, one for the left eye and one for the right. And the 3D glasses, known as shutter glasses, merge them into one picture, so what the viewer sees is a deep-focus, true-color 3D image.
Time to put the special specs to the test and see if they really do make the grade.
.3D TV is a step up from normal TV, that's for sure. The pictures really do have a great depth, but it is a bit strange to watch TV with these special glasses on, even though I wear glasses all the time anyway. There aren't so many movies in 3D right now, even though that will maybe change soon.
Household appliances are on display for the third time at this year's IFA, complete with some fancy trimmings. The latest innovation is an internet-equipped mobile telephone that controls appliances. Using a wireless internet connection, electrical equipment like extractor hoods can communicate with a cell phone.
I just love all kinds of gadgets, and it's pretty cool to put on the coffee machine without getting out of bed, or to check if the cake is ready without getting up from the couch. But do we really need this? From now and then, it's quite good to move about a little.
For the first time, this year's IFA is also hosting the Computer Games European Championships. Players compete in different game categories, including motor racing. Pascal Jäger is the reigning German champion. He warms up for up to 5 hours before a major contest.
What is it about computer games that you like so much?
I'm most interested in the competition. I've been playing professionally since 2006 and have traveled a lot in that time, taking part in international tournaments. Whether I was in the US or in Asia, I just like to compete against other countries, other players, and prove my abilities.
15 years ago, I was passionate about computer game motor racing, and none of my friends had a chance against me. Now let's see if I still got it. I'm up against the German champion.
Time to start. Amateur versus professional.
Okay, I didn't really have a chance, but I think I'm just a bit out of practice. Pascal, be honest, how did I do?
You weren't that bad. It's obvious you've had some experience with motor racing games on the computer. Keep it up.
Thank you very much.
In the evening, the exhibition halls begin to empty out, and it's time for our reporter to take a break.
A day at the IFA can be quite tiring, but there are things to help you relax, like this shiatsu massage chair. This is what I need right now. Summing up, the IFA is a great place for fans of technology with gadgets for almost everything. Not all of it is strictly necessary, but most of it great fun anyway.
Before the winter hits us with full force, here's a travel tip in southern Germany where the climate should stay friendly for a little while yet. Bavaria's Chiemgau region begins some 60 kilometers southeast of Munich and is centered on the beautiful Lake Chiemsee. The landscapes are impressive and it's also a great destination for sports fans.
We start out from a mountain near Marquardstein, south of Lake Chiemsee. And the whole Chiemgau unfolds below the hang glider. Depending on the wind, a flight can last minutes or hours.
It's an uplifting feeling, in the truest sense of the expression. The view, the feeling of being cut free of the earth, and the view of the mountain scenery, like a panorama view from the highest vantage point.
But hang gliders are not alone up in the air. A lot of people use gliders to get an aerial view of the Chiemgau landscape. Lake Chiemsee with its islands and their cultural monuments. The palace of King Ludwig II on the Herreninsel. And the Frauenwirt-Convent on the Fraueninsel. The Alps Tower on the southern horizon.
You learn something new every flight. You can spend 10 years here and still find new things, new mountain huts. It's fantastic.
Dennis Geyer is visiting from Frankfurt. With the expert as backup, he starts off on a flight from the gliding school at Unterwössen. It's the first time he's attempted a flight in the turbulent air of the Chiemgau.
The thermals are a lot different to the ones we have in Hessen, where I normally fly. You have to do more in the plane. You have to steer it more.
For his next flight, Dennis Geyer crosses the mountains through the valley of the Grossacher River. It's the biggest river flowing into Lake Chiemsee and a favorite of whitewater fans. The steersman and the 6 paddlers need all their skill to steer over the falls of Enterloch Klamm.
The white water and the current are fantastic.
What's really exciting is all the splashing, water all over the place and swaying back and forth. The higher the better.
The whitewater rafters take a break next to a small shrine at a restaurant. It's time to stock up on calories before they head off toward Lake Chiemsee. The lake, with its surface area of 80 square kilometers, is the largest in Bavaria and attracts half of the 680,000 tourists who come to the area annually. It offers activities like sailing or windsurfing. The sheltered area near Chieming is used for all kinds of water sports. And it offers a completely new perspective on the foothills of the Alps.
Normally you're always looking at the lake from the land, and this way you're looking at the land. It's a lot prettier than when you look at it the other way. You ride over the lake, you're riding the wind, it's in your sails. The wind is blowing in your face and you simply ride over the lake. It's the greatest feeling there is.
Whether extreme or easy-paced, sport is always invigorating here. The backdrop provided by the Chiemgau region makes any visit an unforgettable adventure.
And with that, we've sailed right on to the end of this edition. So until we meet again, take good care and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.